good evening, and welcome to Tea Time.
Welcome to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me tonight. It is a Monday, June 24th. And yeah, I think it's like the last Monday in June, right? I mean, July is around the corner. It's crazy. All right, I'm going to talk about my weekend real quick, get to my in-studio guest. Friday, Saturday, I really didn't do too much. I really was studying and learning lines because Sunday I filmed out in Medford a film called Honestly. And I had a blast working with the cast and Lauren, who wrote the script. I'm actually going to have her on in September, and we're going to get into the script and the filming. But yeah, that was it. And you know, Sunday's laundry day because we all need clean underwear. All right, that's it. I'm going to get to my guest because I'm so excited she's here. She is a model. She was a podcast host. She also got into acting later in life, so she's done everything. Gail Margaret King, hi.
Hi, so good to be here.
I know. You and I met years ago. It was actually 2018 when you and I met. Can you imagine? At a fundraiser.
That's right.
And was so impressed by you and what you've done later in life as a career. And yeah, we've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm so glad you're finally here.
Thank you. Very, very good to be here.
Yeah,
and following
I'm excited.
you and your career, and I love that as well.
And I love what you do because you're so inspiring.
Thank you.
So originally from Long Island girl.
Yes, I am.
Right, went to West Islip High
School.
Yeah,
right.
And when you were in high school, what did you aspire to be?
I was in high school, honor society. I wanted to be a teacher. That was my goal more than anything in life, which I eventually ended up doing.
Yes, you were taught English, right?
My sister was the popular one, the cheerleader, the one who could sing. I had no voice. We inherited a violin. I had to give it up because I was that bad.
Oh, geez.
I did perform at Carnegie Hall with my sister in ballet recitals.
Nice.
But to be honest, they took me because of her. She was it.
Wow.
I think I started to come a little bit more into my own in college. And yet, my senior year, I was run up to Queen with no date.
Oh, wow.
That's true. That's true.
And you went to college. Where'd you go to college?
Well, I went to what was Adelphi, Suffolk,
Okay.
and then it became Dowling. I was one of the first to graduate from there. I graduated #2 from there, and then went to Stony Brook.
Okay. And you taught English, right?
I taught high school English.
High school English
and college English.
For like 38 years.
Oh my gosh, 37 years.
37 years. But something happened after your third year of teaching when you were only 25 years old.
I wasn't feeling well. And you know yourself when you're just not with it. And I think even some of my students had noticed. I was losing weight and not well. And what happened is I had breast cancer. I had gone to a Stony Brook graduate course, and I'll tell you that professor probably will never know that she saved my life.
Wow.
When I arrived there, people were talking. There were 500 to a class, so you could imagine how large that is.
Yeah.
And I was just listening, but I wasn't feeling well. Hadn't been feeling well for a few months. We were coming upon Easter break. And the professor drew a picture of a breast on the blackboard.
Okay.
And I thought, what is she doing? This
Yeah.
is supposed to be women and literature.
Right.
People were ignoring her. And a couple of us perhaps listened. And what she did was explain that a friend of hers, another professor, had gone to a doctor and that she had not realized that she had cancer, and she was showing us how to examine your breast.
Wow.
I went home that night. I was living in Farmingville at the time.
Okay.
And I did it while Barry Manilow was singing his Mandy, and I found a lump.
Wow.
But I have to tell you, Theresa, it wasn't that lump. It was underneath it where the cancer was.
Okay. Wow.
A few weeks later, I went to the first doctor.
I mean, at 25.
I was 25.
And
I went to 5 doctors before they finally said, let's put you in and let's see what it's all about. Remember,
Right.
nobody at 25 at that time, and nobody was talking about breast cancer.
No.
There were no
And they didn't have a
mammogram-
BRCA test back then.
No mammograms.
No
No
mammograms.
support groups.
No.
They had nothing like that.
No. And it's so rare.
No, it was.
I mean, it's rare, I know, in younger people and in men.
Yes.
But back then, did they dismiss you in the
Yes,
beginning?
Absolutely. One doctor said, asked my husband at the time, is she looking for attention? Is she depressed? Is she looking for something else? And I kept saying, but there is a lump there. And they kept saying, oh, nothing. At your age,
No,
nothing.
You know your body.
And my parents, there's nobody in the family that had cancer.
History.
I didn't smoke, I didn't drink. We couldn't figure this out, but I knew there was something wrong. I was getting rashes, and that's what my students had noticed in addition to the loss of weight.
Okay.
And I went to an allergist, and I was allergic to everything. I said, how could that be? And then finally, somebody had babysat for her children years ago said, there's a doctor in Bayshore. I want you to go to him. I know you, Gail. This is not you looking for attention. You don't
Yeah,
even go to
yeah,
doctors.
yeah.
And I went to see this doctor, and he said, you definitely have a lump there. But the odds are 10,000 to 1. The day
That
he
it's
told
cancer.
me, yes, the day that he told me was the day before Easter, and he was such a lovely man. He's no longer alive, but he actually had tears in his eyes. And he said, you remind me of my daughter. And we just developed a great rapport, and I trusted him totally. Now, this was in a Bayshore hospital where I was born, Southside.
Wow.
Didn't even go to Sloan Kettering.
Right.
But he sent the biopsy to Sloan Kettering
Okay.
to make sure that
To
the results
confirm.
were correct. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And at that time, what percentage? What did they tell you? Like what?
You did not have numbers like it was staged. You were
Right,
this
right.
number, that number. They told me I had 30% chance of survival after the next year when I got pregnant.
Wow.
I'm a bit of a rebel. And I wanted a baby so badly, which I have to tell you,
yeah.
I had Maya,
Yeah.
who's a speech therapist, and I have 2 grandchildren because of that. It was meant to be.
Yeah, I believe everything's meant to be. I
Yeah,
really do. And things happen in life, and sometimes we want to know why, and we question. But it's
I never question that. People will say, why you? And I have to say, why not me?
yeah,
Why not the next person?
right.
And I also feel that part of it was given to me, if you will, because I was to share this with other people. It was my obligation, my duty, and I promised God, if I could make this, I will make sure, and I get emotional still,
Right. Yeah.
to help
yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
And believe me, given 30% chance,
Yeah.
I was so fortunate
Sure.
in being able to give back.
Absolutely. And you're cancer free all these years now.
I'm sorry?
You're cancer free all these years
Oh.
now. Thank God.
50, no, you know my age.
She gave it away.
I have you know what? I am so blessed to have each year.
Yes,
Because the
yes.
first year was tough. Then I got
Yes,
pregnant.
right.
And I said, if only I could see my daughter, in kindergarten. Then it
yeah.
became if I could see
Get
her in high school.
married.
Get
Yeah,
married.
yeah.
All
All
the
those-
babies.
yeah,
All those
all
things.
those-
And you know what was interesting is that people were terrific. My school supported me in so many ways. They came to see me. They made sure I was okay.
Because you had to take a leave of absence for a while.
I did, and I was one of the first people in the whole school that this happened to, and they were just shocked. Now I
So
have
it
to
was a
tell
learning
you,
curve for them as
oh,
well.
definitely. And I have to say that my students and their parents, many of them thought at that time, in 1975, you could catch cancer. So there was a big stigma.
Wow.
And my students had written to me, and we're asking, is it okay if you come back? Will I catch it?
Right. Oh.
And I went back to school about 6 weeks. I was in the hospital 5 weeks, so maybe 6 weeks.
Right.
I was taped from here to here. I wanted them to see that I'm okay.
Yeah.
And if I'm okay, you have to be okay with it.
Right.
And they were amazing. Other people were a little more skeptical.
Yeah.
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 But there were no mammograms. There were nothing like that. So I had to do a lot of my own research, and I went to Stony Brook University, and that's how I found some of the things that would help me.
Right.
For example, Norman Cousins, who wrote Anatomy of a Disease, a marvelous book. If anybody's in a situation where you need help, his whole premise is that you surround yourself with positivity and humor.
Right.
And we actually had a little sign, do not enter if you're going to cry.
Oh.
The first day people were coming in crying, and I didn't want that.
Because it's so emotional, and
I
I
didn't
get
want
it.
crying.
I get it.
And
yeah.
because I was only 25, there's also that feeling of I can conquer the world.
Right.
I do remember praying that God would give me the dignity and grace that if this was my time, I would handle it with decorum.
Right.
But that wasn't what I probably was really thinking.
Right.
I thought,
Yeah.
little tough girl, I'm going to beat it.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
much
I
of
think
it
I think a
here.
lot. Yes, a lot of it is mental. They
Yeah.
say you really need a positive mind frame,
Yeah.
frame of mind to just, stay in a positive light, so to speak. It's so easy to throw in the towel, but it's so hard to fight, and that's what you have to do. You have to kind of put on your boxing gloves and say, you know what,
This is it.
I'm gonna beat this, and I'm gonna fight it. Now, and
Yeah.
we talked briefly before the show, and 9 years ago when I was diagnosed with a brain tumor,
Right.
and I went through that. The first thing I did was I got rid of every toxic person in my life because they cause stress,
you have
and
to do
stress
that.
shortens your life, and I don't want to shorten
Terrific.
my life. And and then again, you want to surround yourself with positivity, laughter, people that lift you up and make you feel good, and not bring you down. I
Absolutely.
think it's so important.
I
that
totally
positive
agree with
mind
you.
frame. I think they say that
Well-
mentally it's half the battle.
And I also think that, if you look pretty well, you'll feel better.
Absolutely.
So with that, my
you
mother
put on the makeup, do your
actually,
hair.
my mother brought me this beautiful peignoir. Now you have to know what I
nice.
look like, with the wires and the tubes and
Yeah.
hooked up to machines.
And a peignoir set, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically a really pretty. It's like a
loved it.
long lingerie gown with a pretty matching.
Yeah, I look like a bride.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was
you can get it in
all,
any color you want, but most of them are white, or they come in
Yeah.
like a baby pink. But it's just a long, flowy gown with like a nice cover to put on
So
top.
my mother
of it.
put a ribbon in my hair. I put
Yeah.
on lipstick.
Yeah.
And there were so many beautiful flowers, which eventually I gave to other patients.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing that was beautiful. They allowed me, because at that time, people smoked in the hospitals, which was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But they allowed me the freedom to get around once I was past the critical stage. So I actually took the tubes, wires, and I went to visit the children's ward. And I read to them. And they thought I was a princess.
Yeah, because the way you were
children
dressed.
were
yeah.
in there who had cancer.
Yeah.
And they saw me in this beautiful white outfit.
Yeah.
And I saw myself reflected in them.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was very, very special. Now, my dad was training to be a Golden Glover.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he was my best friend in the whole world.
Yeah.
And when he came in one day, I said to him, Dad, everybody's gone now. The back rectification, school. Am I going to die? And my father never lied to me. And he turned and he stopped and he looked at me and he said, no. And I said, well, how do you know that? And he said, because I won't let you. And with that, he walked back
Yeah.
and he put up his hand in a fist. And I believed him.
Yeah. That's
That
beautiful.
is so important.
It is. It really is. That's great. I love that. I love that. I have to take my first break. We're gonna
Whoa.
take my first. Yes, we're gonna take
That's fast.
my first break already. It goes so fast. But listen, please stay there. More with Gail after these messages. Don't go away.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought. All right, so we are live, Paradise Studios, New York. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Woo! Well, hi there, Theresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Tea Time on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Theresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me. I'm with Gail Margaret King. We're talking about how she was an English teacher for many years, and only in her third year of teaching, when she was 25, she found a lump and it turned out to be breast cancer, and how years ago, they didn't have everything that they had today. And she taught for 38 years, and I just want to mention some accolades here. You were inducted into the Academy for Teaching and Learning, awarded a Scope and All-Star Teachers Award, and your lessons were actually implemented by schools on Long Island. So kudos to you.
Thank you very much.
It's a beautiful accomplishment.
That's something I always wanted to do.
You just knew you wanted to teach.
When I was very little, I would bribe the children in the neighborhood, the younger kids, and give them soda that my father used to get for free from a client, and make them sit there and listen. It was just something, education is so important.
It
and
is.
to me, getting my first library card at age 5.
Yes, I remember that. That was a big deal.
That was
to
a
get
very big deal.
Yes, and I know you're an avid reader.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I hated reading. I'm putting it out there. I just couldn't stand it. But now, as an adult, I love reading. I love it. I can't get enough books. And at one point, you were reading almost a book a day.
I do. I still do. You can
still
tell
do.
I'm so exhausted. If I can't sleep at 2 in the morning, I'll just get up
Do you
and
have
start reading.
a certain genre you like to read?
Well, I interviewed James Patterson.
Yes.
And he's just #1 in mystery. I love
Yes,
that.
yes.
And I keep talking about one day I will write, Who Murdered the Beauty Queen.
Yes,
Because I
yeah.
think eventually I'm going to end up doing that. I've tried
Love
so
it.
many different genres of area, and I think that would really be something special for me. But yeah, I
Absolutely.
love to read. That to me. And the
Yeah.
teachers helped me so much. I
Yeah,
would go
yeah.
to school and I enjoyed it.
Who's watching? Your sister? What's your sister's name?
Joanne, or is it Maya?
Maya.
Maya's my daughter.
Oh, Maya. Maya, hello.
Well, thank
thank
you.
you for watching. You have a beautiful mom. Okay, so let's jump to 2009.
Yeah.
2009, you decided to enter, and you're going to tell me how this happened and why. But in 2009, you were crowned Miss New York Senior America. And we're going to put up a pic, which I have. There you are. That's one of many pics, but we have some at the actual crowning when you won. Wow, look at that.
But I went on to win the whole country.
Yes, you won the
Right.
entire country.
Yeah.
You took the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, that was Miss Senior America.
Yes,
correct.
thank you for that. And what an experience. And I know, how did that happen?
Okay, I'll tell you a few things. It's kind of cool. First
Because
of all,
I think you have to be 60 and over in
you have
order
to be 60 or over.
Okay.
First of all,
Little secret. I'm going to be 60 in September.
Oh, you look so good.
Thank you.
But that's young. First of all, Bernie Siegel, one of his books, he had said, what will this disease teach you to do? What will
Right.
it allow you to do?
Right.
So for me, if I conquered that, I'm going to step outside the box.
Yes.
and I'm going to try something new.
Good.
More Magazine was pretty big at the time.
Yes.
And I offered to write an article about just entering this pageant to
Okay.
see what would happen.
Okay.
Not expecting to win. I was not a beauty queen like that. And honestly, the only beauty queens I saw, they were all blonde and blue-eyed, and they were ready to go.
Right.
I didn't fit that. You know, I'm a
Right.
little bit dark. My hair, I didn't fit that mold.
Yes. Yeah.
And as the dress that you had seen up there was a little bit different. I threw my hair to one side and I sashayed across. And it was fun. It was 4 days. The other thing is when I entered to start with, and you had to win the New York in order to go to the Nationals,
Right.
my significant other, Shelley Cohen, helped me when I went into to see if it was okay for me. I got nervous because I saw so much talent. And I hadn't done anything and danced since I was a teenager.
Right. Yes, because you were judged in talent,
Yeah.
philosophy of life, modeling, and an interview.
Right,
And you
right.
decided to do dance.
When I walked in, I said to him, nobody knows me. Let's just walk through the door. And he turned to me, he said, it's not about winning. It's the dignity of trying.
Yes, doing it, just
I was-
doing it.
I was hard.
Say I did
I
it.
said, did you have to say that? I was just, believe me, it was like the Roadrunner, beep, beep. I was, when I saw them, because I wasn't that talented, and on the stage, my costume came in, and even though I'm kind of tiny, the costume, it looked like it was for about a 10-year-old. So I always wonder how I won. But the costume was like that, and I remember the director saying, oh no, that is not your costume. It just arrived that day.
Right.
And I put it on, and I did the best I could do.
Yeah.
It was awful. So I went to Vic D'Amour once I knew I had to go on to compete in the Nationals.
Right.
And he took the time to teach me, and believe me, I spent 4 to 5 hours
Because
a day.
you actually took dance for like 13 years at one point.
But
so
here
you
I
weren't-
was
you weren't-
60,
you-
and I hadn't danced in a while, Teresa.
But you weren't new to it. I mean, it was something that you just went back
It's
to
not
and
exactly
had a,
like riding a bicycle, Teresa.
I know. No, I know. I did tap dance for 14,
Yeah.
15 years and putting on my tap shoes tomorrow.
It's not exactly the same. And I
No.
was competing with people who were they performed at the White House, performed here, performed there.
Wow.
So it was exciting.
Yes.
But
So
I
it was
knew,
lyrical dance? Is that what it was? or?
It was a ballet dance.
Ballet.
Right. And it was from West Side Story.
Okay.
So everything about me was a little different than what everybody expected.
But in a way, that's good.
It was,
because it makes you
because
stand out.
it was
And
me.
it's memorable.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I did hear that. And then you had to do your philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to use this to spread the
As a
word about
platform.
overcoming cancer. Again, that was my goal.
Right.
I wanted to step outside the box. I wanted to not give in to my fear. And I have
Right.
to tell you that first few days of every year going to school and teaching, I almost threw up. I was that nervous. I was very shy.
Wow.
I was not the child that would be an extrovert. The kids would go out. My mother would say, oh, you come back in a few hours. Here's your little egg. Here's your hostess cupcake. We'll see you later. That's how it was in those days.
Right.
And I was the one that would take off and explore, going into ponds. We had a lot of wildlife. I grew up with chickens. We had a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of a loner that way. So to stand in front of a class, even though I wanted to, was a big deal.
It's a fear that you had.
So
to
now I had to
overcome.
stand in front of thousands of people.
Yes, because getting this title
Yeah.
parlayed you into obviously bigger and
The
better,
Today Show,
better
the
things.
show that-
yeah,
yeah.
you were all over the place, and it also gave you a new self confidence.
Absolutely.
For
I
yourself.
kept growing unbelievably. And being very nearsighted helps too. I can't even see the monitor.
And so after you won, you made like over 500 different appearances
around the country, to hospitals. Like I said, the Today Show in Florida. I was seen on the Today Show in New York. Anywhere that I could go, Stony Brook.
Right.
Anywhere that people needed someone to speak.
Yes.
In Tennessee, I remember speaking before a group of women. And then I also spoke at a luncheon, and I spoke about people who had to overcome cancer. I went to Stony Brook, and they had me come out and speak. But what I liked is that I learned how to speak to different groups. My husband, who died in my arms of pancreatic cancer, I was able to speak to people who had lost somebody
Right.
or who were going through it.
Right.
people would ask me, what can I do to help this particular person?
Right.
And that's where I think I shone.
Yeah.
Because I remembered all of that. What were some of the things you could do?
Yeah. No, it's so important that you can relay that to somebody because you went through
I
it.
was
You walked
there.
in those shoes.
More difficult to watch somebody else than it is for yourself.
It is. It's so true.
I know
it's so
who
true,
I
and
am.
it's hard for the people around you and your loved ones. You know,
Because I know who I am. I know the strength and the inner strength. And though I'm not very religious, I'm very spiritual.
Right, right. And that's something that you also turn to. You turn to more of like a self-awareness. You do
definitely.
a lot of visualization techniques.
Yeah.
And everyone prays in their own way if you have a belief.
Oh,
and,
I pray every night.
And meditation as
I
well.
pray that I become a better person. And sometimes it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's not always
not-
easy.
it's
I say,
not.
oh no, what did I do now? I'm always in trouble.
You know, we're
But I
human.
try.
We're human, and we make
Yeah.
we make mistakes and we do things.
But I
sometimes,
learn
but-
from my mistake.
Well, that's the whole
that's
thing.
what's critical.
Try not to
for me.
repeat them.
Not, yeah, right. Insanity, right?
Yeah.
Repeating the same mistakes. But yeah.
And you, so this led to modeling. It led
Well,
to again.
Actually, it led to my show.
Well, led to okay. So your
First
show.
I did show.
The show. You had a talk show called
Yeah.
Looking King, and
You know, get it?
and there's the king. The king was capped. There you go. Looking to make a difference with Gail.
Right.
And you did that for 8 years, and it was a very inspirational show.
I hope so.
You know, you touched upon subjects like drugs and gangs and animal rights and such.
Absolutely.
And you-
Children who were abused. I went into as much as I could get into. It wasn't about me, just like the cancer was no longer about me.
Right.
It was what could I do to help other people.
Right.
And that was intrinsic to helping others. And it was just incredible, the responses and the places that I was invited to afterwards because of this particular show. And that's what actually led into the modeling.
Because is it because something went viral or someone saw you on social
To get
media?
into the modeling?
Yes.
I was on social media and I was on Facebook.
Right.
And so many wonderful people watching the show. And I just put it out there. I saw one particular,
Comment?
yeah. Well, no, I saw a particular fashion designer.
Oh.
And I said, yeah, I'd like to walk in your show one day. And she said, well, come on in. Let's see what you like. And that came from having the confidence
To say it out
after all
loud.
these things. Absolutely. Well, what could happen? All she could do was say
Right.
no.
Because
It's
the
like contest.
24-year-old wouldn't have said it.
Yeah, yeah. And here I was coming in, and I walked, and from there it went from one to another to another.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you have any excitement, any dreams, do it.
You know what?
Because
That's
yeah.
you know, I know your biggest mantra is never give up.
Absolutely.
And
also, for
love
everyone,
yourself. I love
Because if
that.
you don't love yourself, how are you going to love other people?
It's true.
And how do you love yourself? By trying to be the best that you could be, by surrounding yourself with people who are positive.
Amen.
And again, you know, and be spiritually giving.
Yes.
And give of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. But again, it led to wait. Oh, we're gonna take my next break, and when we come
Whoa.
back, we're gonna see pictures of her modeling.
Oh, no.
Don't go away. We'll be back.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
Hi, I'm Georgia Rose, founder of Zenkuda. You can watch me on the Soul Space podcast every Friday at noon on Channel 20 for spiritual guidance. And as you all know, that is how I first opened into my own psychic gifts, was through the angelic realm, astrology. So we've got Mars and the Sun together in Scorpio, which creates a lot of combustion. In the astrological world, we call that a kazemi, and tarot. When the Four of Cups right side up, it means we have a lot of choices to make, and we're not looking at what's really being divinely given to us. We're too busy in the busyness of the choices to really see the divine intervention, the divine timing, and the divine guidance. We're the place. Watch the Soul Space podcast.
How you doing? It's Sal the Voice Valentinetti. Why are you watching me? You should be watching Theresa Canastraci Tea Time with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. And make sure you follow Theresa on Facebook. Tea Time with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. We'll see you there.
I love the way you say my name. I love. Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm going to mention Murdered by the Mob. There I am as Bunny. Yes, murderedbythemob.com. Go see when we're doing shows. It's at the Iron Bar in the city. It's a murder mystery. It's the longest murder mystery in Manhattan. 30 years. You eat, you sing, you dance, you drink. It's very interactive, and it's fun. All right, I hope you join me one night at the show. Getting back to Gail Margaret King, because she's had an amazing life, an amazing career. It just continues. You know, the Miss Senior America, and then you won the whole country, led to modeling, and you said, oh, I want to walk on one of your shows, and that's it. Hello. And then she's been doing it ever since. So I just want to say that I don't have her stats for this year, 2024. But I will tell you, in 2023, she had 21 fashion shoots, which led her to 21 covers. Okay? That was last year, people. So, I mean, you know, okay. So we're going to throw up some pics of some print work that you've done, which is just amazing. I mean, and I want to know, do you get to keep any of the clothes or shoes?
Sometimes. Many times you will get discounts. Sometimes they'll give you the things. And I have to mention my photographer in many of the cases is Shelley Cohen, my significant other.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you were also in Times Square.
Yes.
More than once, correct?
Times.
8 times. We have that pic.
That's surreal when you look up and you see yourself and you say,
Times Square,
and you're
baby.
standing next to
Never seen so many men ask you if you wanted to die. Lady in red is dancing with me.
How cool is that?
I have 5 covers coming out, and that red one is one of the covers that'll be coming out.
I love it. It is so cool. And then just more covers, more print work. I mean, it just goes on.
That was a funny one. That was
funny. That looks kind of sexy to me.
Well, I did a little thing on Elvis.
On Elvis.
Rock.
Okay.
I did a video, and just having fun.
Wow.
You know? And yeah. So, but these are fun memories.
They're just beautiful.
Sure.
Thank you. Just beautiful.
And you know what's funny is that, you know, in modeling, and I don't know, you look different in every picture.
Yes.
It's so weird. My mother doesn't
I think it depends
recognize
on
me.
the makeup, the lighting, what you're wearing, the set that
yes,
you're
when
on.
I did
if
the
it's
acting.
Interior, exterior.
In the acting, my mother wouldn't even recognize me in some of the things that I was in. I
Right,
did a lot of Royal
right.
Pains, a lot of
TV.
TV. And
yeah, we're gonna talk about
but
that.
I didn't even recognize me. They'd have my hair here, there, parted this way,
Do you
that
have
way.
do you have a room in the house that is your closet? Because a closet for you can't work for you. You have 4 rooms.
4 closets.
4
rooms.
closets?
I do have one, which is a walk-in, which I just love. With a lot of the gowns.
I die and go to heaven for a walk-in closet.
And shoes, you know, the
Yes.
boots and everything.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
will say that I do donate a lot of the gowns for kids for proms for the next year.
Yes.
And I have a granddaughter, gorgeous, you know,
Yeah,
granddaughter,
yeah.
just turned 15, and she's got carte blanche to go into my
Nice.
closet and pick whatever she would like
That's
to pick.
great.
And a lot of people do. They'll go in and say, I like that bag, I want
There
that bag.
aren't
those
too
shoes.
many I have to say this. There aren't
Teresa,
too
come
many.
on over. Come
Listen
on
to me.
over.
I lost a ton of weight.
I saw
I'm
that.
not
You
your
look
size,
amazing.
woman.
Oh, you
I'm
look
down to a
amazing.
4, which is great. And I'm vertically challenged as well.
Come
but,
on over.
But there aren't too many
come
teenagers out there that could shop in their grandmother's closet. Okay,
on
that's
in.
all I'm saying.
But I just love that particular room, and it's
Yes.
just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's got the crowns, and it's just a fun place.
Yeah.
It's a make-believe place.
Yeah.
And doesn't every child, you know, every little girl want
Oh,
to grow
absolutely.
up? You put your mother's
as
lipstick
a kid,
on.
you're putting on your mom's heels and the
Right.
lipstick and the
Right,
dress.
right.
And,
Absolutely, it's fun.
yeah,
It
you know,
is.
playing dress up. and to do it professionally and get paid for it.
Yeah,
is-
and to be able to do it, and then at this age. And that's
Yes.
another thing. I want to show
Well,
that.
I want to see more mature models.
I hope
I
so.
really do.
Everybody
I
hear
think
that?
I think
Let's
that there
hope they're
should be
catching it.
more mature models. I think there should be. Look, I know the average size for a woman
Mm-hmm.
is a 12 or a 14, and I also know that the average height is like 5'4".
Right.
So yeah, I mean, to see real people,
True.
I think, and I know that now being plus size model is much
big.
more
Yeah,
accepted today than it was years ago.
It is.
So
But
I
wanna
think
see
we've
you
come
be-
a long way.
But Theresa, I'd like to see a healthy plus size
Oh,
model.
absolutely, absolutely.
I am not a proponent where somebody is so heavy, so
Right,
obese
right.
that you don't look healthy.
Yeah.
I want to give a message to the kids,
Sure.
but I think it's all about health.
Yes.
Just as when I was growing up, Twiggy was the
Oh
star.
yeah, waif, the waif,
And that was
the waif
too
look.
thin.
Yes.
Women were starving themselves
Yeah.
to be like
No,
that.
no.
And that's not good. And we
No,
know of
it's
women
not
who
healthy.
actually died.
Yes.
So I like it. And you are getting a little bit of everything now. But again, you're right. And I think that's helping me get so many of these covers.
Yes.
They don't know my age many times. Now they will. But they really didn't. They thought I was a lot younger. And,
Yeah.
and I always said I'm a mature model. I never hid it from anybody.
Right,
But I
right,
think
right.
that's very important. And I'm only 5'4", maybe a little taller.
Right.
Not even. No, I think I'm 5'4".
Yeah.
And I'm 90 pounds.
Right.
But that's just that I can't gain the weight.
Yeah.
But
You can't gain the weight.
please throw it over here. You have no
Don't be
idea.
hating people, but
No,
you
oh, no,
can't
no.
gain the weight.
Could I tell
never
you-
had that issue.
Teresa, I went to a nutritionist and she said it's more difficult.
Do you have like a hyperactive metabolism or
Yeah,
something?
But
Is
she
that what
said
it
it's
is?
more difficult to gain weight than it is to lose weight. I've even taken Ensure. I've had a whole cakes at a time. I have that particular difficulty, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I keep saying, when I was 21, when I'm 40, I'll gain weight. When
Right,
I'm
right.
60.
Because they say as you get older, you're not
You would
as
gain
active
weight.
as when you're younger, and the weight comes on.
No. I just want to be healthy.
As long
I
as you're
wanna look
healthy, that's all that
healthy.
matters.
Yeah.
And feel healthy in your own skin. I have
That's
to say,
important.
I've battled.
You look
I've
great. You
battled
look
the
terrific.
bulge my entire life, and I've never looked as healthy or been as healthy as I am now.
That's wonderful.
And I know
That's
over the
great.
years you have to retrain your brain, and you really have to be aware, mindfulness of what I'm eating, because you eat without thinking, and you just,
yes.
you know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
definitely.
But it's a battle that I face every day. Being aware of those three meals.
Well, you're doing great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. But when you're a size 8 and you're standing next to someone who's a size 0 or 2, you look like the Hindenburg next to them. I mean, it's funny. And you do TV, and that puts 15 pounds on you. So I mean, it's it is
When I
what
get
it
down
is.
to a 0-0, that's when I start to try to gain more weight.
Right,
That's my
right.
problem.
Yeah.
That's when I don't look
No,
healthy.
you did all this print work, which was beautiful. You've covered red carpet events. You've
Yes, I
interviewed
enjoyed
everyone
that.
from the Housewives
Oh my
to
gosh,
the Long
yeah,
Island
yeah.
Medium.
Yes.
And you've modeled for quite a few top designers.
Yes.
As well.
Yes, I have. I have Fashion Week coming up in September.
Awesome.
I'm very excited.
We have a couple.
about
I think we have a
that.
couple more picks, right? That we
Okay.
can throw up. Fashion Week is in September.
Yeah, I'll be.
I think we have a couple more towards the. Oh wow, that's gorgeous. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Is that it? I don't know. All right.
I have
Thank you.
Pamela Quincy's show coming up on the 5th.
Okay, okay.
Anastasia on the 12th.
Nice.
And then I'll be walking in Bronx Fashion Week for the first time on the 28th.
Oh.
Yes. And also, they have contests. I don't know if you want me to share a little bit
Well,
about
before we
that.
get to that, because that's
Yeah.
that's the last thing we're going to actually talk about. But I do want to talk about how you started your third career in acting. Okay, it's like the third act. You in 2016 you did something called Drop Off, which was a short film written by our friend Will Mercado. He wrote it and he directed it, and that was with John Marola.
That's right.
Who actually owns Murdered by the Mob, and Kyle Grant and Nancy Cullen. And then you went on to do other work as featured extras
yeah.
on Law and Order, 30 Rock, Royal Pains, like you mentioned, Life on Mars, Pan Am, Extreme Forensics, and recently you did, I think, was it The Affair? And that was on Showtime.
That was the last one on Showtime.
Right?
I went to Abrams Agency, and it's funny because they ended up putting me in modeling. I get the acting, and I had taken a few acting classes because everybody said more actress than model.
But this third act of yours, you start, and I want everyone to know this. You started in your 60s.
Well, you know, it's okay. I've had so many people say, "I'm now 40, I'm 50, I want to go to college." But it's too late. And I'm thinking, you're going to be 60 one day too. Why not go to college now?
Right.
Why not do it?
Right.
You're going to be that age anyway.
Yes.
And I believe that doing this and changing and reinventing yourself, I think it keeps you younger.
Yes, yes.
I mean, you're exhausted, but it keeps you, but I love that. You know, I'll sleep when I'm ready to go to sleep. This is
No, I know
time
what you're
to
saying.
do, right?
That's like when people offer me to do something.
Yeah.
I say yes all the time, and then I figure it out.
Thank
But
you.
but
That's the
again,
best
it's
thing.
something that you don't know who you're going to meet, where you're going to be, what it might parlay into, and it's about networking
I
in
came
this
that
industry.
close to getting a part on Blue Bloods. And this is a woman who's only taken a few acting lessons in her life.
Right.
And I got a call back.
That's
and it went to
great.
somebody else. It was, it was a female detective, her mother.
Right. The mother of the female detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's great that you got the call back. It just shows you that they did like you.
I thought I had it.
No, I mean, look,
I was so sure because I even spoke Spanish. I tried everything to do to get that. But okay, but then I had other parts. Then, with Angelina Jolie in a movie where I was staying next to her and the guy was trying to take a picture and he fell.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just like a lot of exciting things.
Right.
And then they started to pull me out featured, to show me different things.
Highlight
and it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you working on any kind of movie now or something upcoming?
No. In fact, I had to give up my SAG because I found with modeling and stuff, it's better when you don't have SAG.
Okay.
I have to tell you, you're called more, and you get more opportunities.
Yes.
But there was more money in SAG. It was nice to bring home a paycheck, being a featured extra and making good salary that particular day.
Right.
That was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was exciting. That was great.
It's amazing. This is Act 3.
But again, you never
3.
know. One thing will lead to another. And that's why I love what you said. Don't close the door.
No,
Don't say no. You'll figure it out.
Yes.
And if you can't, you can't.
Yes.
And if you make a mistake, it's
I
okay.
say I don't want to knock on doors. I don't want to knock on doors. I want to kick them in. And
Okay.
in this career that we're in the entertainment industry, because it's like throwing spaghetti up against the wall and seeing what sticks. It just you never know.
And if not you, somebody else. And you can't take it personally.
You cannot take it personally because I know I lost 2 gigs because I was too short. Again, I'm 5'2". I'm like, how old are you? How tall are you? I'm like, I'm 5'2". But with heels, I'm 5'5".
Exactly.
And, what are you going to do?
It's happened to me with modeling. I had a couple of big agents who said, love your look. And I look taller because I'm in proportion.
Yes.
And that throws people off. And then when I gave the height, I said, oh. Actually, I said, oh. But again, if not,
now, do you prefer
else.
for yourself? Do you prefer print or runway? Do you have a?
I love both.
Yeah.
I see that camera, and it is making love to the camera, whether you are acting or you're modeling.
Right.
And if you could see the pictures,
it's a relationship.
When you show the video with me walking, you'll see what I mean. You're
It's a
actually
relationship.
in there.
Can we show that video
it's
of
so
her
much
walking?
fun.
We might as well throw it
I had
up.
7 outfits.
There we go. 7.
That it would be untrue. You know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Getting like a little wobbly. I was like, okay.
7 outfits.
This isn't working here.
This is the last one.
This is like 4 hours of work here. But it is. But the musical, it's sexy.
Yeah. It's nice.
And you know what? It's different. You have different personas. Now I'm going to show you my other side.
Right.
I do not believe we are all one thing. I
Yeah,
think we are
yeah.
a matrix of different things.
Yeah.
So you can be sexy, you can be cute, you can be coy, you can be so many different things and still be you.
Yeah, love that.
It's good and evil in all of us.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, I hate to be evil right now, but we got to take my last break.
Whoa.
All right, so don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
Hey, everybody, it's Theresa from Tea Time. What's my show about? I interview people in the entertainment industry, producers, directors, actors, and guess what? My show is on every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Channel 20 on Optimum TV. So tune in because it's fun, interesting, and exciting.
Who's the best comedian you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best actress you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best cast member in Bad Boys?
Teresa Farrow.
Who's got the best radio?
Teresa Farrow.
Stop. Who's your favorite Jimmy?
Teresa Farrow.
Who are you loving right now?
Teresa Farrow.
All right, Suck. I love you too, baby.
Love you as always.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me tonight. I'm with Gail Margaret King, and she is a model. She hosted a podcast. She's done red carpets, print work, runway, and she loves to give back a lot
that's
and really educate people and also make them feel comfortable in their own skin, which is so important. You know, we all look in the mirror every day, and you know, I think it's so important to say a positive, something positive to yourself, because you're like, oh, maybe I should have got a nose job.
Same old
Oh,
face.
I don't like my arms. Oh God, my inner legs. I could do a Jell-O commercial. You know, there's just certain things that we all have hang-ups about, but you have to look past that. You know, you really do. It's the soul. It's the core. You know, it's what makes us on the inside, and then it comes out and shines on the outside. You know what I mean?
I think so.
I think you could have the most beautiful person in the world with the ugliest attitude, and it's such a turnoff. And you know,
Or if they don't have something to offer.
well, that's the whole thing too.
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table?
I
And
remember
it's
dating a
important
guy,
to give
yeah.
back, and it's important also. A great lesson between both of us with the cancer and the brain tumor is you know your body, and if something is off and something is wrong, go and get checked and listen to yourself, and don't take no for an answer until you get an answer. Right? Very, very important. All right, so we have like 7 minutes left, and I want to know just who's your favorite author? Do you have one?
My favorite author, I have Dostoevsky when I was in college. Because again, the good versus evil, the crime, the intelligence, Raskolnikov. But I'm also very partial to Shakespeare because I think we can learn so many lessons by studying him. I mean, how could you not? Each play, even the poetry.
Right.
You know, so yes, I would have to say that.
Now, I know you mentioned before that you'd like to write.
I do.
And you already have the title.
Yes.
Which is what?
Who murdered the beauty queen? Who killed the beauty queen?
Who killed the beauty
Who
queen?
killed the beauty queen?
Okay, and this is something that you want to
It's
write that you have in your head that you're playing around with?
I'm thinking about it.
All right.
I am. My daughter
It's almost like
keeps-
a whodunit
My daughter
kinda
wants me to
murder
do
mystery?
on dating about because she thinks I think like a guy, and that I
Really?
should do a book about dating because a lot of her
That's
friends ask me
interesting.
questions.
Really?
Yeah, and I could see that as well.
Okay.
I could do that.
All right, it could be a handbook.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk to you about a magazine you're holding.
Oh, yeah,
Carmine's
this
going
is
to
so
also
great.
put up the pic for it. There it is. It's called The Cinderella of New York.
Yes, this is the brainchild of famous designer Pamela Quincy. For Tara Reid, she's designed Carmen Electra, many models. She's won numerous awards, and it was her dream, although she put me on the cover, she's the Cinderella of all.
That's the cover. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And then show the back, because
Okay.
there's a back pic too.
Well,
in
yeah,
the
but
silver.
what it is
Beautiful.
a contest.
Yes.
And the top 10 winners will not only walk in her show, she will dress us, we'll get prizes, and in addition to that, the money raised by each person voting for them,
Okay.
all that money is going to go to less fortunate little Cinderellas. And they're going to get the dresses, the shoes, the bags, and all that.
Nice.
So this was something that she has excited us about. Right now, I'm excited. I am in the top 10.
Yeah.
The voting stops at the end of July.
Okay.
And, it's Vote Gail 5. I'm in second place.
That's great.
And it doesn't matter. You can vote for anyone you want from
Well,
that.
I wanted you to
because
tell
the
everyone.
money is going to go to help the
Yeah,
kids.
it's so important.
Yeah, Pamela's
know.
going to design, and she's already given so many outfits to those less fortunate
Wow.
because she believes, and I agree with her, we should all be Cinderella for at least one day.
Yeah.
And there's so many that we could help. And why not have that dream? Look at her dream. She became famous with her Malapa boutique and her Kalami outfits. So this is a phenomenal thing. So I'm
Wow.
excited about that.
And you've got a ton of social medias. I want everyone to know about
yeah,
them. You have
yeah.
a, it's called lightningstar.ent, abbreviated for entertainment.com, that you could go and check out. You have, it's Gail Margaret King on Facebook and Instagram. It's Gail King TH. Is it
No,
T?
Gail Margaret GailMargaretKingTV.com.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it's Gail Margaret King on Facebook. And I do try to answer everybody. Sometimes I don't answer as fast as I can.
Yeah.
But it could be a question about health, the
Right,
cancer,
right.
because I've helped people that
Yeah.
way. Or it could be just something that you want to know. But I do try to.
Yeah,
you know,
no, that's nice
there.
of you. Really is nice of you that you take
Well,
the time and.
I'm just amazed so many people are just so wonderful to me on those sites. I mean, you get the occasional, would you go out with me and you say, sorry, I'm involved. And they go, you're not that hot anyway.
Really?
Or,
Really?
you're old.
Oh, jeez.
You have to laugh it
Oh,
off.
boy, oh,
You have to
boy,
have a
oh,
sense
boy.
of humor. And you
Well,
laugh.
yeah. I mean, what are you going to do, people?
But most people, 99%, thank you. You are so kind to me, and you have no idea. You make my day. You write me things, and they're beautiful. I really
It's
say
nice.
that.
Well, listen, we have like 2.5 minutes left. Is there anything else that I did not mention that you would like to talk about?
Oh, if I can memorize the thing. How about this? You must never give up, no matter what. This philosophy.
Winston Churchill.
Oh, Winston Churchill, my favorite. In 8th grade, he failed English, 8th grade English.
Right.
And he was determined to keep going at it, and he finally passed. Now, many years later, he went to Oxford or Cambridge, and they said, please give us your speech.
Right.
And he said, okay. And he hobbled up on stage with his cane, and he looked, and he said, never give up.
Never
And
give
everybody
up.
went, shh, shh, shh,
Yeah.
shh, shh. And he looked up again, and he said, you must never give up. And he walked off the stage.
That's it. That's it.
And that stayed
That's
with me
it.
forever.
Yeah. Those are really powerful words. 3 powerful words. It really is never give up, because everyone has hopes and dreams and aspirations, and we're living proof never to give up at any age, really. I mean, just it's you don't know unless you try. That's the bottom line. If you don't try, you failed. To try and then fail, at least you could say, I did try. You know what I mean? And I know you also have hope versus hopelessness,
Right.
which is another one that's very impactful.
Well, you have the choice. It's up to you.
yeah.
That's it.
That's
a
the
choice.
bottom line. And again, October is Breast Cancer Awareness
Awareness
Month.
Month.
And I know you were involved in many different organizations with that. And it's, again, important.
But every
people.
day is
Every day's a
awareness.
gift. Every day's a
day,
gift.
And every day is an awareness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be your own advocate.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And that's what you were at the young age of 25, which is
I thought I knew it all.
amazing. Yeah, we think we know a lot at 25. We know nothing at 25.
True. I'm still
We
learning.
get definitely older and wiser and put up with less crap as you get older, really, because you don't have the patience for it. Listen, thank you so much for doing this.
This is my pleasure. What
Coming in and
fun.
doing this. I had a blast, and I will take you up on your offer. I want to see your closets.
You got it.
Okay.
Come on
Listen,
over.
thank you everyone for watching me, supporting me, and remember, tell everyone you love them, and I'll see you next week. Ciao, everybody.
Mwah.